All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're taking a close look at one of the most powerful principles of influence. Law 43, work on the hearts and minds of others. And this is so much more than just manipulation. It's really about understanding the massive difference between forcing someone to do something and making them want to do it for you.
You've probably heard this old fable from Aesop. The north wind and the sun get into an argument about who's stronger. They see a traveler and decide the winner is whoever can get the man to take off his cloak. So the north wind huffs and puffs with all its might, right? But the harder it blows, the tighter the man just wraps his cloak around himself. Then it's the sun's turn. It just shines. It gets warmer and warmer, and pretty soon the traveler willingly takes off his own coat. It's a simple story, but the lesson is timeless. Brute force just creates more resistance. Persuasion, on the other hand, can achieve what raw power never will. And that idea, that's really the heart of Law 43. It's all about seduction, not coercion. The whole point is that real, lasting power doesn't come from pushing people around or bullying them into submission. It comes from making them want to join your cause, to move in your direction. So here's the bottom line. When you use coercion, you are planting the seeds of your own destruction. It might get you a quick win, but it creates a backlash that will, eventually, come back to bite you. To build real influence, you have to get personal. You have to tap into people's individual emotions, their psychologies, their hopes, and fears. If you ignore their hearts and minds, they will absolutely grow to hate you. It's inevitable. So, what happens when you get this law totally, disastrously wrong? Well, for that, we don't have to look much further than one of history's most infamous cautionary tales, Queen Marie Antoinette of France. She is the perfect example of what not to do. Now, what's really wild when you look at this timeline is just how fast it all fell apart for her. She shows up in 1773, and the crowds are cheering. They absolutely adore her. She's this symbol of hope. But in just over a decade, that love completely curdled into hatred. She just never got it. She thought the affection of her people was something she was owed, not something she had to earn and keep. Her complete isolation led her straight to the guillotine. And this slide, man, it just shows you how deep in her own bubble she was. While the rest of France was literally starving, she built this make-believe world for herself, a little fantasy farm where she could play pretend. She had peasants as props, sheep with silk ribbons. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. She never bothered to read a single report from her ministers or tour the country to see how people were living. To her, they weren't people with their own lives. They were just an audience for her performance. And this was the result. The people gave her a nickname that just perfectly summed up all their resentment. Madame Deficit. And it wasn't just about the money she spent. It was about her complete and total blindness to their reality. With that name, she wasn't a queen anymore. She was a symbol for everything wrong with the system. And that sealed her fate. Okay, so that was a total train wreck. Now let's flip the script and look at a masterclass in how to do this right. For that, we turn to the ancient Chinese strategist, Zhuge Liang. He was also facing a rebellion, but his approach couldn't have been more different from the queen's. His entire strategy was built on this one piece of advice. Zhuge Liang understood something Marie Antoinette never could. Think about it. A conquered city is just land. You have to occupy it, guard it, and it will always resent you. But a conquered heart, well, that becomes a self-sustaining source of loyalty. It defends itself. And the way he did it, it's just pure psychological genius. He goes up against his rival, King Mengguo, and he captures him. Not once, but 7 times. And every single time, instead of executing him, he treats him with respect, feeds his soldiers, and then just lets him go. This wasn't weakness. It was a slow, patient, methodical breakdown of his enemy's will. By that 7th capture, Menghuo wasn't just beaten, he was completely won over. He became Zhuge Liang's most loyal ally and pacified the entire region for him. No occupying army needed. So, here it is, side by side. The 2 paths to power. Brute force looks quick and easy, but it always breeds resentment and requires you to constantly be on defense. True power, winning hearts, is patient, it's difficult, but it creates real allies and it sustains itself. Marie Antoinette chose the easy path of arrogance. Zhuge Liang chose the hard path of strategy. Okay, so we've seen the history, we've seen the good and the bad, but how do you actually use this stuff? How do you apply these principles to unlock someone's will and actually win them over to your side? That is the fundamental question. Isn't it? Every person you meet is surrounded by their own personal walls of ego, of insecurity, of self-interest. You can't just smash them down with force. You have to find the key that opens the door.
The approach really has two parts. First, you have to work on their emotions. Go after those big primary feelings, love, hate, jealousy, the things that tend to shut down our rational brains. And second, you have to work on their intellect. That means taking the time to understand their unique psychology. And the real secret weapon here, it's simple. Get them to talk. Stop preaching, stop boasting, and start listening. The more they reveal, the more you understand what makes them tick. Just acknowledging that you see them as an individual, the very thing Marie Antoinette refused to do, is the most powerful first move you can make.
Now, you might think rallying people to some grand, noble cause is the way to go. And sure, that can create a spark, but what really keeps people loyal in the long run is self-interest. You have to show them as clearly as possible how following you benefits them. Zhuge Liang offered his enemies food and respect. Marie Antoinette offered her people, well, nothing but the spectacle of her own wealth. A noble cause might be the bait, but self-interest is what sets the hook. So here are a few quick tactics to remember. First, play on contrasts. Just like Liang did by giving food to prisoners who were expecting to be killed, the relief is powerful. Second, use symbolic gestures. A small, unexpected act of kindness or sacrifice can make people identify with you on a deep level. And finally, always play the numbers game. Power is a network. You have to constantly be winning over allies, because all it takes is one unhappy person to start a fire. So let's wrap all this up with one final powerful metaphor that I think just perfectly captures the essence of this entire law.
Think of it like this. Every single person builds walls around themselves to keep others out. If you tried to smash through those walls like a battering ram, you're just going to find more walls inside. But every wall has a door, and every door has a keyhole. Your job is not to be the battering ram. It's to be the locksmith. You have to patiently peer through that keyhole, understand the person on the other side, find the right key, and the door will just swing open for you. No mess, no resistance, no ugly signs of a forced entry.
And look, this isn't some new age psychology hack. This is ancient wisdom. As the philosopher Han Fei Zhu wrote over 2,000 years ago, before you can conquer someone's heart, you have to carefully observe it first. So the real question is for you. Are you going to be the one who just keeps banging on the wall? Or are you going to put in the work to look through the keyhole?